The Bunker Project, podcast episode number 73.
Hey, and the only reason we know that is because we decided to write it down. The last, 5 shows, like, what show is it? What show is it? Holy cow. Hey, this is our new theme music. How many times have we used it the second time around?
Third time around.
Third time around. We're still figuring it out.
Live from Vancouver, it's Wednesday night.
All right, yeah. Digging that beat, man. Ding, 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 ding.
All right. We're back again for another episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And it should be a fun one because we got the Facebook IPO. I guess that's going to dominate the show. How many people have got... I spent $180,000 on the stock already. How many people have... Well, this guy phoned me up, and he said, look, I got this bridge, and I got the stock. Which one do I want? And the bridge was a little more expensive, so I went for the stock. I'll flip it, and then I'll buy the bridge.
Yeah, as long as you can sell it real fast.
Yeah, exactly. I think 8 seconds is what the analysts are predicting for people that are going to be cashing in. They're going to buy it low because you know how it works if you start a company, all the buddies of the people in Wall Street, they get the private deals. They'll buy, a couple of $100 billion worth. It'll be on the market for several seconds. It'll double. They'll dump it, and then we get the rest. So we'll be dealing in the dregs after that. So, yeah, the people that are going to make serious money with Facebook are the people that have already bought it.
I think I almost spent that much on B. Sainsbury stock on Empire Avenue.
On Empire Avenue.
Oh, man.
Empire Avenue.
If only Empire Avenue was real. Holy... I don't even visit it anymore. I make money. I guess that's what real stock's like, right? You put a bunch of money in stock, you forget about it, and they say, hey, look at it, I just made $13,000. Oh, well, who cares? And keep on going. But with real money, it's really hard to say, oh, well, who cares? It's like, wow, maybe I could go buy something with that $13,000. Yeah. Instead of reinvesting. Anyways, that's the plight of the North American consumer. Spending, not saving.
So what are we going to talk about today, Bob?
Well, I'd like to talk about the Facebook IPO, but nobody here really cares.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're lacking for money, the guys who own the company.
Well, yeah, I think Facebook makes money right now, but the reason that they had to put it on the market is they have over 500 shareholders, and that's a rule. If you have over 500 shareholders, you're not allowed to sell anymore unless you go IPO.
And also, they want more money. I think.
Well, I mean, God, you imagine
the 500 shareholders is kind of irrelevant, man.
The $25 billion if you do sign these pieces of paper. I mean, is that very hard decision to make?
They don't have to go public. They would just be a
privately held.
Public disclosure privately held company if they have that many
but 20
shareholders. But yeah, it's a cash out. It's a cash out.
How? I mean, you can't even perceive. I mean, $1 million. Hey, I have trouble with $180 to $200, really, in this economy. Wow, it's a $50 bill. That's amazing. Anyways, I've never seen more than 3 of those at one time.
Do you remember what color they are?
Yeah, they're orange.
Well, they got the new 100
Canada,
with the plastic in it, man. It's got the plastic.
Oh, yeah, it's actually got a window.
Yeah.
Very cool. When I first saw it, I thought it was fake, and I'm sure taking that sucker down to the United States, there's no way it'll be accepted.
Well, you know why
cash.
they put that window there so that you can't have a stack of like $5 bills and then a 50 on top.
That's my phone. Hang on for a second. Let's answer it and see who it is. Hello, this is Bob here. Oh, hang on. Yes. Hey, how you doing? Look at Daniel.
It's Daniel on the phone. Rock and roll.
A friend of mine down in Texas.
Yes, I am.
Yes, and 8 other people here at the podcast. How are you doing down there in Texas? Hey, that's okay. Hey, look at. How about if I give you a call back in about an hour? All right, we chat tomorrow then. Yes, he's here too.
I'm here.
Yeah, you don't get to chat with him at all. Sorry, you'll have to go. You'll have to go through. Was it cold turkey tonight, dude? No Ian, no bod for tonight. It's a toughie. This guy laughs at a drop of a hat. Yeah. Okay, man. Ciao. All right, that was Danny from Texas. Sorry, he is a great guy to chat with because he's one of these big American guys that loves to laugh at stuff. He's got a great laugh.
Yeah.
I'll record that laugh and put it on the next show. Could you hear it when I put the... Not really.
Not really,
Not
no.
really. Ah, well, sorry. That must have been pretty boring for all the people. Boo. Poor Daniel will be heartbroken. All right, I'll turn the volume down. Done. Oh, poor Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
Yeah. Actually,
And he's about a 6'5", 300-pound guy, so you don't want to mess with Daniel either. Not
yeah,
a
the
good idea.
Big D.
You really don't want to mess with Daniel.
Oh, he's
buddy.
gonna love this show. I'm famous, man. I'm famous. I had my 7.5 inches. All right. What the heck were we talking about? Oh yeah, some
We're
dumb
talking about
IPO
Facebook.
stuff. Yeah,
Facebook IPO.
bored of it already.
You know, once they're public, it's full disclosure.
What about
Yeah.
BlackBerry? What about BlackBerry shifting their management? Man.
Well, before we get into that, I want to stay with Facebook for a second. Did anybody see my post, that cool new thing where it takes your timeline and makes it into a movie? Have anybody played with that
I
yet?
played with it a little bit.
Very cool, very nice. It gives you permissions and it takes your timeline and just basically makes it's like a 1-minute movie out. It's very nice.
Yeah,
I think it's called the FBI app.
The FBI app.
It's me. It's all about me app.
Your pictures were good on your video.
So are they doing that for Newt Gingrich? Are they doing that for Newt?
Well, it's editable. That's what's neat. Now, I made one. It said you can edit and you can take some of the pictures out. The thing is, it shows all the pictures, but in the movie, there's a lot of styling that goes on. You can't really see a lot of the shots, so you got to figure out which shots you don't like and then click it out. But yeah, it's definitely editable. You can go, you can click and you can click and click and click and click. Of me, I've got like over 4,000 pictures to go through. It's like, oh no, I just got to the hiking series. Click, 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 click. 5 minutes later, back to the kids. So yeah, it's editable, but very manual intensive. The other, it reminds me of the one they did where the Museum of Me. Did anybody do that one? Man, don't you guys go to Facebook? Don't you hang out there all day long waiting for stuff like this to happen? What type of lives have you got?
There are no narcissists in this room, Bob.
Except for me.
I think you've been posting it to Google Plus,
Oh, that's true. That's true.
so I don't think that's why I saw it, because I was on Facebook all day. I didn't see nothing from Bob.
I cross-post all the time, for God's sake. They killed that. Yeah, did they? Yeah, I know. Well, the way a cross-post is manually. Oh, the movie nutter is here. Now, the reason I'm calling him a movie nutter, what's this guy's name again, Andrew? Marcel, but what the blog, I mean?
The movie yearbook.
The movie yearbook. Now, this guy, hats off for an insane idea that he's actually trying to pull off. He was on a previous show, and he is going and writing a movie review every day. Is that 7 days a week or 5 days a week? 7 days. That's 7 movies a week. And I just heard that he went to see...
But not just any movie.
No, well, movies, but then
movies in the theater. He has to go to the theater.
In the theater?
In the
He
theater.
has
And
to
then...
go to the theater.
And then he writes...
You're writing the reviews in the theater?
Yeah, exactly. He writes them in. Well, that's perfect. Who's the guy writing a review in the theater? Oh, he's here all the time. Every day, in fact. But I heard that he went with a couple of buddies to a movie he'd already seen and already written about. To make it even harder. There he is. He has no mic. He had a gap in my schedule. He had a gap in his schedule. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
7 movies.
He loves movies
a
that
week.
much.
So is this the movie version of Julia and Julia?
Yes, exactly. Wow. Everybody says that. But in a year, you'll be famous again. You'll have movie rights, books, and stuff like that. You'll be on the Oprah show or on maybe Doug Loves Movies. Maybe you get on that podcast. But what? Nobody's heard of that? Fantastic show. Doug Loves Movies.
No. Is
the
it a
Leonard
TV
Maltin
show?
Game. No, it's a podcast, an obscure podcast. The guy did Super High Me. He's more famous for that.
To top it off, it's a leap year, so he has to do one extra movie.
Oh, that's one's going to break him.
Yeah, I think that one's going to cause the big crash.
But really, he does
Burnout.
extensive notes. Amazing
But is there that
posts.
many movies?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's what I
pumping
was
them out.
gonna
ask.
Barely,
that's what I was
barely,
Not many, man.
barely. Well, he
And
could
even
go to,
fewer good ones.
But you could go to repertory cinema, right, and watch old movies like Ben-Hur and stuff like if it's at the reps. Yeah, as a last resort, he says. All right.
He's not very generous with his stars either.
Can
He's
you
pretty picky.
use the film festivals as filler if you don't have enough commercially released ones?
Yep.
Yeah, rules don't apply. You can do whatever you want. If you're writing that many reviews, you gotta make it up as you go along.
Yeah, day 85. Maybe I'll be bending those rules a bit. Day 240. Oh my God, give me movie, any movie. Drive-ins.
Lindsay Lohan's looking good at day 85.
Oh. Harsh. But you know what we're going to
Lindsay
do?
Lohan looks good at day 1.
Oh,
brutal.
Hey, you know what? I think it would be a
What
fun
are you
idea.
smoking?
Yeah. And share it. How about sharing some of that? Hey, I think what we should do is we invite him back once a month for the next year and get a recap and say, hey, how's it going? And to give him some moral support.
Do the whole movie review for a month in a minute.
Yeah, okay. The virtual.
The movie yearbook minute.
Well, I think just talking about the struggle, and how it is and how he's motivating himself and stuff like that would be awesome.
So why don't you just step up to Mike and just say how it's going so far?
I think we need
we'll start
Oscar.
it. Let's start it. Brilliant idea.
happening,
We're going to
too.
start it now. He's going to grab a mic.
Theme on the Oscars.
All right. Okay, get right in there
All
for a
right,
good
here
sound.
I am.
Yay!
Okay, so I mean, we're 1 month in. It's February 1st.
Really tight on that mic. There you go. Beautiful.
Is this good?
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's
Perfect.
That's good.
You're 1 month in,
Yeah,
and
we're 1 month in, February 1st. I feel great. It's great so far. Easy.
good.
how many movies?
35 around?
35.
honestly stopped counting.
Holy crap.
36 because you went to one twice.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Yeah, which one did you go to twice, by the way?
The artist.
Was it? Well, that's worth going to twice, though.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So out of all the movies other than The Artist, which is your favorite?
I'd say Hugo or A Separation, which I saw last night. Great movie.
Really? Huh. Well,
And
there you
didn't-
go. So
didn't
everybody...
you just came from a movie, didn't you?
Yeah, Carnage.
Oh, and is it a good name or is it Carnage?
It wasn't bad. Like, it was all right. It's John C. Reilly, the guy from Inglourious Bastard, Kate Winslet, and Jodie Foster, and they all pretty much scream at each other for an hour and a half.
Nice.
And which is great until they all start drinking, and then the movie just goes downhill. But it's all right.
It sounds like our show.
It starts downhill.
Yeah, it's just a remake of The Bunker. Come on. Maybe we should remake it to Carnage.
So how sad is that? I recognized one of those actors.
Which one? Okay, I would not. Sorry, no.
Jodie Foster.
But not Kate
Okay,
Winslet.
that is sad.
Kate,
Why do you
baby,
use
Kate.
John C. Riley?
Come on, Kate Winslet. Titanic.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't
She was
have known
younger,
her
but
name. Okay. Wasn't she chubby there for a while?
Somewhat, yeah.
It
No,
was
they just
done with
said she
makeup
was-
and mirrors.
guy-
Come on, it was a
left her.
period movie.
Some guy left her because she was chubby. That's what I
Oh,
remember.
rudely plump, I think was the
Loser.
term.
Okay.
Maybe you're thinking about Bridget Jones' Diary.
Bridget Jones' Diary?
No,
yeah,
that
here's
chick that was in the Titanic
Winslet,
movie.
yeah.
In her real life, some guy left her because she was chubby.
Well, you see, that's what you get for reading the tabloids, Bonnie.
I know, and that was the last time I read a
That's
tabloid too.
I know you were in Safeway. It was a big line.
It
I
was
got to
there,
I know.
and,
When's
it took
this
me all
line
that
going to
time
end?
to read it.
And then
For grocery shopping.
Was the last time I went grocery shopping too. But I'm
yeah, your pizza guy must love that one. All right, so let's reel it back to the show. Hey, that was a digression. If not,
Drink.
yay! As everybody desperately grabs their drinks. Oh, gotta love that black beer. You know, we don't talk about black beer as much as we used to.
No, but they're calling me at work. They're calling me McBlackbeer now.
McBlack
And when I
Mick
get
Black beer,
Yeah,
wow.
when I get the Pure Later interoffice mail, it comes to
McBlackbeer.
McBlackbeer.
Oh
I'll
man,
put a picture in the show notes of that.
you should grow a beard, and then you could be McBlackbeard.
November, Bob. Next November.
Movember, shit. Well, beard. What month rhymes with beard? No.
July.
Beard. You know, July. Oh, look, we got a special guest here. Okay, someone go grab that young lady a chair. This is the drop by show, by the way. We enjoy when people just drop by.
Kathy Brown.
We're into super casual.
Kathy Brown.
Yeah, Kathy Brown. Did you?
Master
And
photographer.
she
The unsinkable.
she owes us some photos.
I was looking at them today on Flickr.
How are you?
Yeah, but she didn't send us any.
I guess we can get them from Flickr.
Yeah, I guess so. That sounds like something very internety, though.
They're good pictures.
All right, so let's slowly reel it back and get a subject here. Back to Facebook. Timeline comes on. How many people have checked out their timeline on Facebook?
Activated
Nobody?
the timeline.
No.
Nope.
Nobody's activated?
No,
Really?
I have an article on how to get back from timeline when they force me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's what I'm going to do all night is just get myself back.
Really?
I hate it. It's stupid.
It's stupid. In what
She
way?
says.
She said, it's like a scrapbook. Come on. It's good for your mom. Look,
Been
she's
there.
so cute.
I know. It's Facebook is going to be for people my mother's age.
It will drive
That's
me
it.
further and further towards Google Plus.
No, Google Plus. I love Google Plus. I hate Facebook now. The only reason I'm on there is because it tells me everybody's birthday, and I get to wish them happy birthday.
Well, they
So
did
it's
do
good for something.
Well, they did do a survey here, and it said 51.29 people said their Facebook
I
timeline
see,
worries me.
I see.
Worries you.
Yeah, and then another one said, I don't know why I'm
He's gonna
still on
ask what the
Facebook at
sources are.
32%. And then I like it 7.9%. I guess I'll get used to it. 8.3 says, like, I hate it. I think it stinks. 1%. Oh, that's Bonnie right
Yeah, that's
there.
And I believe I said
Yeah.
this before. She is the 1% we need to occupy her.
What actually? She's 1/100,000th of a percent right there. So yeah, I don't know. I got the what do you call it? Developers permissions things, and I started playing with it. I really like it.
Yours is very spiffy.
Is it? Well, it's good content. What can I say? I mean, it's the quality, man. The quality. Yeah.
I only looked at that picture at the top, and I went spiffy.
Spiffy.
And then I went on.
No, if you really get into it, it's interesting. If you have to be of the mindset that you want to share information with Facebook.
Okay, so who's...
Yeah. Well, I
we
like to
gotta get
stalk
an
myself.
introduction here
Definitely.
For
What's-
the
what,
listeners,
Kathy?
introduce yourself first.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
This is Sanj Sukarkar with Genesis Designs, web developer.
Cool.
Cool. Actually,
First time bunker.
First time, yeah, absolutely. And
Long-time fan?
He should hang out with.
You ever listen to the show?
No, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
They lied.
That's why he came. Because if he listened to the show, he never would have come.
So you like the timeline?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, actually, now the Hat Maven and you ought to get together because you're both Joomla developers.
That's right.
Ta-da.
Would love to.
Yeah, we'll have
chat
like
about
a
Joomla.
Duke out later in the day. Throw down with a Joomla. Yeah. For those who don't know what Joomla is, it's basically a web development platform for coders. I mean, it simplifies it a little bit.
Yeah, Joomla is more like a. Most people have heard of WordPress. Everybody's familiar with WordPress.
But it's not like WordPress.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. WordPress is more of a blogging platform that also does other stuff. But Joomla is other stuff that also does blogging. So it's more.
So it does the other stuff better.
That's right. Blogging is just one of the few things that it does. So corporates and professional businesses and things like that will like Joomla better than WordPress.
Well, there you go. All right, for all you people that want to get a really happening website, you just don't have to go and get some guy to do raw HTML coding, CSS raw coding. You can just go to something like Joomla, a little bit more efficient. It has a good back end for you to edit and do stuff yourself if you feel like.
Is that true? Can the average person use it easier than?
Yeah, post into stuff.
Yeah, people. I mean, well, it depends on it's like the Mac or the PC. Which one is better? The controversy has been out there forever. Same thing with Joomla and WordPress. WordPress tends to be the popular one, but once you get the hang of Joomla, it's fairly user friendly.
So what is Joomla more like Mac or more like PC?
Don't go there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a nasty spiral downwards, I could definitely tell. All right. I want to save the SOPA stuff for next show because I really want to dig into that. So I'm just going to haul it.
What's that stuff?
Back. Nah, don't worry about it. It's so depressing. So depressing what's going on,
If
man.
we do that by
depressing.
by the time it publishes,
It's already
There won't
done.
be an internet anymore.
Well, I know that's the sad part.
We should talk about Bill C-11, which
Well,
is
that's
the
what I mean.
Canadian counterpart of that.
Well, what
And
about
ACTA?
that's the
ACTA?
ACTA is the international thing that everybody's already signed, but let's not get there because it's just so depressing.
How's it depressing? We'll just bypass all that.
Well, it's probably going to be put into law, and it's going to be the end of the internet as we know it. So this year, I think, will be when we say, remember when the internet was free and we could do stuff and all this government stuff all over it, and then there's the dark side where we'll have the black internet, the underground internet, which will be where the cool stuff happens. Anyways, I think we should have the Bunker Show on the dark side, man. Be awesome.
Sure.
Awesome.
Why not?
Dark podcast.
In the dark?
Yeah, well, it would
We did
help.
that once. Eric turned the lights off and brought candles. in.
Oh, it was so romantic, so romantic.
So we all wear what is it? Fluorescent stuff?
Yeah, well, we can put black lights in. Yeah,
Ooh,
green
let's
light.
do that.
Be a room full
Instead
of
of black
glowing
beer?
teeth.
Put that into your timeline.
Black beer with
Yeah.
black lights.
In addition to Blackberry.
Bob,
Yeah.
talking about laws and internet.
All right.
Back in 98, 99, they were talking about how online gambling was to be a
Eradicated.
big taboo. And
Well, now
things
they're
like
saying
that.
it's fine, aren't they?
Pardon me.
Aren't they now saying it's fine?
Well, I don't think what I'm not quite certain what the legal standpoint is, but the point I'm trying to make is as soon as that law started coming off age, I remember we lost a few clients, and we were in Chicago at that time, and a lot of hosting companies, Bahamas and offshore, made a killing because all poker sites and gambling sites went out there. So it's just a matter of if SOPA or SOPA passes or any of these bills pass in North America or the rest of the world, there has to be a safe haven country somewhere that will misbehave and be.
But they were still able to shut down all those poker sites.
I doubt it.
They did.
There has to be. There's always a.
There's always a
backdoor.
way. There's always a backdoor. If you look hard enough, you can find it on the internet.
Yeah, but
Let's
it
face
couldn't. If they just collected taxes, they'd probably allow it.
They seized the URLs.
Oh yeah.
Or they'll move, or there'll be some ISP in Brazil because Brazil doesn't have extradition treaty.
Yeah.
What they did with most poker sites, though, was banned it in the United States so that any players that were using that currency could no longer play on their systems.
Yeah, exactly.
And same way with Canada now. You have to go to Play Now if you want to use a casino here in BC. And I found that out the other day because, I was like, I want to go on Poker Stars. I want to try win some money, and it just wouldn't work. I was like, well, what's up with that? And then, BC is now saying that if you're going to gamble, you have to gamble in the
with
province.
us.
Yep.
Which is a good thing because we
Well,
can
we got to
use
keep
the
all the
taxes.
money. Yep.
Yeah.
To pay
I don't
for
know
all
if I
the people.
trust
that-
their site, though.
Yeah, they sort of had problems before, didn't they?
Yeah.
They have no Mac client, so we're calling you out, BC Players Association or whatever the hell it is.
Well, the thing with that is that all the gambling, all the money that they're making here in BC with the gambling and stuff like that, in 15 years, they're going to be spending twice as much for all the rehab they're going to have to do for the gambling addiction. That's
Just
going
make them
on.
shake
It's
some
just trying-
dice to see who gets in.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah. Do you win to get in?
I'll flip a coin. Come on, heads or tails. Come on.
Well, we are actually laundering a lot of really good stuff out of Hong Kong. There's a lot of money laundering going on.
That's good.
Someone mentioned Brazil earlier.
Yeah, we snuck in Brazil. Is there a story about Brazil?
They just passed a law that is going to restrict email from for companies to send emails to their employees after hours, because because
Yes.
they'll have to pay overtime if they're
What?
available. Yeah.
Yep. Somebody won a law case.
Good
So-
luck on that one.
Well,
How are they gonna prove that?
well, if the company requires them to have a BlackBerry or
Oh, you mean to
or
do
a
something with the
smartphone.
email?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they respond to the email after hours, then they got to pay him for
Or if
doing that.
there's- or-
Just think
well-
how much money you could make, Ian.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
they're
think.
gonna pay.
The legislation in Brazil is worded that if they send the email, if they require them to have a smartphone, they send the email after hours.
Yeah,
They have to pay them overtime for
the work required to handle the email.
Wow.
because they're
I wonder if it's
basically,
billed in 15-minute increments.
basically on call.
So what you're really saying is the politicians want some extra money. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
probably what it is.
Well, maybe some. Well, somebody.
You gotta pay them a little bit, and then no problem will make us all go away.
Well, the thing is if it goes into law, then it's a precedent, and it can be brought up in other cases anywhere in North America.
That's a beautiful thing. Then people all work 9 to 5, and then we outsource everything, right?
Yeah, well, that would be awesome. Well, the thing is that when I was working with Creo, they oh Bob, here's a computer, and you can take it home, and you can put it into the
But
to
it
the
was a
mainframe and
mainframe.
stuff. Yeah, go into the mainframe, and here's a special tunnel of this code, and it's this is really cool, and you can answer mail 24/7. It's this is really nice, and then after 2 weeks, that's like oh my god, I'm like working every single minute that I'm awake. And then I would go to sleep. I'd wake up, and the first thing I do is I check my email. I had like 75 emails, and I'd have a shower and go check. I mean, it was ridiculous. I wasn't being paid for that because in a managerial position, you don't get paid overtime, right? So yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way, that you don't take company toys home, or you're just working all the time.
This article, the Brazil article, is saying that other companies now have taken it even a step further. And Deutsche Telekom is cutting back on after-hours communication, and Volkswagen is going so far as to turn off email completely for employees after the workday is done. And the article is actually saying, is this going to affect email marketers' ability to access their potential clients?
It's also going to affect productivity of those people, because if their competitors do it and they beat them, then suddenly that's going to change. Right?
Yeah, well, it's also that what about the companies that still block people from using social marketing tools or social tools to get their job done? You know, a lot of people find that using email doesn't work as well as just messaging back and forth on Facebook or using Twitter to communicate. And those sites are considered social, and a lot of companies says, "Oh no, you can't do anything social using our server because something bad's going to happen." So they're locked out of it. So they're at a competitive disadvantage, and that's the argument they're saying. They're saying I can't do my job using email because nobody answers email anymore because they're inundated with email. But I can log onto Facebook and chat with them live and actually get something done.
Well, actually, texting is more efficient than both of those things.
Absolutely. So, except nobody seems to text here in North America. In Asia, they're text crazy. Holy crap, they do a lot of it.
I would say that having dealt with big businesses who try to communicate with people with multiple resources, clearly texting is by far the best. By far, even in North America, it doesn't matter. Actually, even probably more so in North America because people don't text very much. Well, so the older they are, the more likely they're going to respond to it because they don't see it.
Well, I text my lawyer all the time, say, "Hey, I just sent you an email. Can you please check it?" And then he'll get back to me. But if I don't, he'll never get to it, and he's getting hundreds of emails. "Hey, what about that email, Bob? You're not the only account I have." I don't care. I'm paying you. I want you to answer the emails.
Hey, Bob, can you tell me which email that would be?
Yeah, exactly. I SMS'd you about it.
Bob, I think he'll probably send you an invoice for $400 an hour.
Bob, not only do I have to respond to the email, I have to invoice you for the time it took to find that email.
There's going to be a line itemized on your invoice for answering texts.
Yeah, exactly. Text answering and dealing with Bob. What's this dealing with Bob?
Special surcharge.
Yeah, exactly. $800 a minute.
Yeah, and then I'll charge you for sending the text message because Rogers does sometimes.
Well, the deal with lawyers is you do the initial negotiation, right? So, I'm going to do this for you and that. Yeah, I'll wrap it all in the package. I'll take 1% of this, blah, blah, blah. And then you call them up and say, "Hey, I just want to clarify what I get. What kind of... You're not billing me for this question, by the way." "Oh, no, I'm not going to..." "Okay, great. So I can ask you any question relating to the business I'm doing. You're not going to charge me." And he'll go, "Yeah, okay." And boy, he rued the day that he said, "Yeah, okay," a couple of times because I just got, "Hi, it's Bob. I'm asking you a question within these parameters. You're not going to bill me, are you?" "No." "Okay, here's the question." "And then please inform me if I go outside of those parameters and I will reword it so it fits." Because, that's your job as a lawyer to tell me when I'm...
Okay, Bob.
Straight. He hates me. He really hates me.
It's way off target.
Bob, reel it back. Come back.
All right, I'm having
You really don't like lawyers, do you, Bob?
I think Bob needs to just finish that. Yeah. That was a long digression.
Oh, come on. I love it. No, he is a fantastic guy.
Before we finish this, if I text the locksmith Maven on how to break into my house, does he charge me too?
He might after this.
No, he gets all sorts of great
He
free
just sends you a
services,
link
don't you?
to YouTube.
I charge on completion.
Yeah.
So he'd give you the starting, but the finishing of it, you'd have to pay for.
That's the $75 for me to and turn it to the right.
90% done. Oh, yeah. Now you have to pay me.
Sounds like another profession.
Well, at least you can guarantee a happy ending.
I watch email marketers do it all the time.
Oh, well done.
We are the penetration experts.
Oh.
I didn't say that.
Chihuahua.
I didn't say that one.
Yeah, well, it is a wild and woolly business, I hear. All right. I'm going to try and get the show back on track just a little bit. Andrew, do we have any notes you want to drag into this conversation?
Amazon is thinking about being a direct competitor with Netflix.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Well, they got their Amazon Prime. If you're a Prime member, you got access
I don't understand why they just don't sell people movies when they're at the theaters. Why can't you just pay more to watch them at home? To me, that just doesn't make sense.
Because it costs $14 to go to the theater.
Won't make any money out of you on the concession.
You charge $40 for someone to watch it at home. The people aren't going to the movie anyway. Why not just charge more?
we can.
Well, there's one guy who's going to the movie.
Yeah, okay, but
He's making up for the rest of us.
I think going to the movies should be free.
Hey, back when I
They
used
should
to
charge nothing.
be able to go to movies before
Then
I had
what?
a baby, whenever I went, the theater was full. People are going.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the Super Bowl. $300 million for 30 seconds. Why? Because 150 million people are going to watch it. That's all. That's the only reason.
130 drunk people.
Yeah.
What do you
that's
think
not gonna
about the issue? Is it a Caprice Theater that wants a liquor license, but if they get the liquor license, they can't show movies?
Oh, well, that already happened.
work. What?
It already happened.
They can't show movies if they have
Not
the
in BC.
And they got a liquor license, and now they can't show movies.
So can they liquor you up and then show the movie? And then
Well,
shut
I
down?
think what we should do is drag in our movie expert to give his opinion.
Actually, here's where I'm confused.
Yes.
Is that there's the VIP theaters in Coquitlam and Metrotown at this point. You can order booze and go to the movie. How come you can't at the Rio? I don't understand what the issue is.
Different city.
Different is Burnaby
No.
Vancouver? Burnaby in Vancouver? Well,
Oh, yeah,
maybe
it is a different city. You're right.
different
yeah.
city.
Yeah, grease the wrong politicians.
Well, Vancouver. I don't know. It's hard to say. It could be the way she'd applied and stuff like that. But for people that don't know
Bigger
what
stack of
happened,
money
is
is
Real
required.
Theater. It's a really nice theater, and the new owner manager there, she basically applied for a liquor license because she wants to do stand up. They got stage and stuff. So she classified the theater as a venue.
So it would be like the Orpheum.
Exactly. So then when she got the license, the Liquor Control Board said, oh, by the way, you can't show movies because it's illegal to show movies
Well, you know what? If they were
because
mixing
kids and stuff are there. That was their argument. And then but what about all these football games you guys have with this huge stadium full of drunk
Hockey
people
games?
and
Or
hockey
restaurants?
games or restaurants and all, but they all have kids in it. So now it's different. Why is it different? So it's just an arcane
Maybe it's the type
rule
of
that
movies.
is never
Well,
being
if it's-
challenged in
if
court.
if
That's
it's
all.
Vancouver, maybe they just need to require them to have like a Happy Planet mixer.
Yeah, it's got to be green drinks, green drinks that don't
people
hurt
have
the
to.
environment.
No, people have to go there on a bike, and then
Yeah, I was going to say they have to bicycle in.
yeah, then exactly.
Is there a beer lane, like a
Yeah.
beer door?
Yeah.
and you have to be wearing a bike helmet at the same time.
Spandex.
Safety
I
first.
thought Facebook,
Or Vancouver?
Bob.
Yes,
I thought Facebook was getting into the whole movie business, competing
Well,
with Netflix.
So is YouTube, I think.
well, they started doing that. You could watch feature lengths on YouTube, but not YouTube, but Facebook. There was like 2 or 3 movies. I don't know how that went.
So is Cineplex. Cineplex is promoting the big
Yeah,
time.
they're getting into
Big time.
and Spotify, and there's all sorts of things.
I might
going
have to
on.
do with Chapters having a problem. Borders or whatever it is.
Does that mean the movie guy doesn't have to leave home and just watch movies at home and write reviews?
Yeah, I just stay home and
Hey, you want to go to the
Then you
theater?
could drink
Well, but
and
that's
watch
called
movies.
Netflix. Give me a break. You
Yeah,
can
that
watch you can watch movies 7x24 on Netflix for $7 a month.
Not only that, suppose
only-
you can hack those little boxes and then get U.S. Netflix if you want.
I was just going to say.
Oh, and you can
That's
spoof
your
your
IP.
IP address, but I didn't say that.
No, and you don't want to spend $1.95 a month doing that either. But that's how much
It's
it
free.
costs.
No, it's free to spoof your IP.
No, but you can actually get a
Or so you hear.
You can get a
Or so
revolving.
I hear. I would never. do that.
Allegedly.
You can go to places and actually have an IP that rotates. Every month is a different IP. Costs
Really?
$1.95.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you don't even have to spoof.
No, you just like my IP is a US IP, and that's for any online thing, right? It's not just specific for that.
We'll
so,
talk later.
all right.
Fuck 95 a month.
Yep, something like that. Hey, you want to
You
get?
can even change it so people can't find you.
Works for me.
Really
So,
confuse the internet marketer. Where
Yeah.
is the person?
So with that, we
here,
could
no,
all
there.
have
Bobby, where
US
did you
Netflix,
go?
and we could have Google Voice and
Well, we've kind of
Pandora.
we've kind of digressed into internet security, and
I think there's too much black hat stuff going on, buddy.
Hey, well,
What-
before we move on,
well, I just
So what else is in the notes?
well, I
Sky,
So what
Sky-
else insider information do you have?
Sky TV is also going online.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, but
you
not
can-
in Canada.
No, but if you had a different IP, that would be wouldn't be
There
a
you
problem,
go.
would it?
They're perfect.
Oh, that's how
Not
you-
officially in Canada.
I never thought of that. Really, I didn't. I just want to talk about this very cool website called Ghostery, GHOSTERY.com, that you can go log into, and it analyzes all the cookies and multiple links that other websites use to track and figure out what's going on, because it's not just cookies that are out there. there are a ton of other little
What about chocolate chip
snippets of code. Yeah, except for chocolate cookies and Oreo cookies, you're okay there.
Peanut butter?
No, too much fat. Very
Those
dangerous.
big cookies or little cookies?
The big ones are much more dangerous than the little ones. Anyways, so check out Ghostery. I checked it. I ran it. It freaked me out, and it's something you can't really explain until you run it on your system.
So what do you do?
So GHOSTERY.com, and basically it goes in and it checks all the back and forth channeling and information that's going on between you and any website that you're having a relationship with.
Oh, nice.
And what's interesting about it, that I was listening to This Week in Tech, they were talking about Google and how everybody's saying, oh, Google has gone evil because they've changed their permissions.
How do you spell it?
You'll have to rewind and listen to the show.
GHOSTERY.
Yeah. .com. All right. No problem. So the thing that's interesting about it, they did it for Google, and Google was one of the fewest back and forths that were happening. And some of the sites that you wouldn't suspect would have a lot of back and forth information and tracking and figuring out what you're about and trying to figure out where you are geographically and what your browser history is all about. All that stuff is going on companies that you wouldn't even imagine would be doing stuff like your bank. So, and they have a lot more personal information about you. They've got your social link, you got your Visa number, they've got your address, it's all confirmed, all that type of stuff. So, definitely an interesting thing to check out. It might freak you out a little bit, but always interesting to know. Me, I'm into being transparent, but being transparent also means being aware.
But does it matter if your bank has cookies on your computer?
Well, it's
easier to log into online
just
banking.
not being ignorant about it being there, right?
You have to understand the threats or to counteract them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't even have to counteract it. Just being conscious of it instead of wandering around in an unconscious state on
you
the
have
internet.
To wonder, is that the bank or is that a fisher?
I don't know.
Yeah, am I being pished?
Pished.
Pishing.
Okay. So
It could be a hijacked website.
TripAdvisor.com was asked to remove the trusted reviews title for the reviews.
Yeah, what's with that? Some wordplay thing?
Yeah.
What the hell's
so
going on with that?
The American
Legal
advertising-
weasel words?
Yeah.
Legal weasel words. Wow.
Because the reason why is they said that you can't say that these are trusted reviews because there's no way to verify that they're real
Actually
people,
trusted. Yeah.
that all of them are real people and that all of them are.
What, it could
actually
be bots?
Well, it could be the owner of the resort or whatever.
So it could be a real person, but they have it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So it could be someone working for somebody, but not officially, who's writing stuff.
Exactly.
Or officially writing
Nudge,
for
nudge. Say no more.
People,
but
People who
wink,
have a
wink.
vested
Bonnie is
interest
shocked.
in a
I
good
am.
review. Which,
You mean like endorsements on LinkedIn?
yeah, endorsements.
Don't get
Hey,
don't
Ian,
get Ian
people
started.
lie
Ian, isn't your
on
buddy in town this
LinkedIn?
week?
No.
Yeah, Mr. Knievel is down this week. Speaking of LinkedIn. And fake reviews and fake endorsements.
Well,
Well,
that a shock?
speaking of reviews and endorsements, technically you're supposed to put, if you have an affiliate link, you're supposed to clearly mark it as an affiliate.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
States, in the FTC, and in Canada, Industry Canada, right? So how many sites are actually doing that?
very few. But
Do you think it's important?
Well, for the integrity of the information, it's hard to say.
Actually, it says on my site that everything.
Is biased.
Everything's for sale.
Everything is an affiliate link.
Yeah, everything I say
But-
makes me money.
But according,
Everything is for sale.
according to the
especially this
FTC
statement.
guidelines, it has to be by every link that has to say, there has to be a note saying that there's a material connection between myself and this.
My blog would
Product.
be 300 pages long.
Yeah, I know. And
Well, couldn't you just put a big legal disclaimer at the bottom? Just like boom.
You can.
Really
I
small
do.
text?
No, I do have something
Really
there
small
that says.
No,
it's
it should be big text at the
No,
beginning.
like the
Post
auto industry.
Monster.
Really, really small text.
No, you don't. No.
yeah, no.
Doesn't
Post
work that.
Monster regularly
Uh-oh.
sends me emails
What did
telling
you
me
do?
I have to do that.
Oh,
So if you put the link and then you say, thanks for supporting my page, that's probably good enough, right? Right next to the link.
What's the John Chow disclaimer that he says?
If I'm not making money,
I'm making
doing it
money from
wrong.
everything on my site. If I'm not, it's a mistake, and I'll remove it.
I like that
holes
one.
in them anymore.
And a bit that's like in big bold at the top of the site.
Yeah. Well, there
There's
was
a whole page dedicated to him saying how he makes money and everything is about money. So
Yeah.
Is that John?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
John says if he's breathing, he's making money.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, there was Walgreens.
See, if he was
I
working
think
with
it was.
me, I could make him make money after he wasn't breathing.
Yeah.
Whoa!
That was the insurance maven there. That was the insurance maven.
One for Margaret. Yes.
Yeah, well, actually, she makes money on the assumption that one day you won't be breathing.
Well, that's a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah.
Especially in your case, Bob.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There was a case with Walgreens. They had to get a message out, and instead of going for standard advertising and pay-per-clicks, they hired a whole pile of targeted bloggers and bought stories. And they said, look, here's the stories. We want to pay you to put it on your blog. And at the beginning of every story, it says, this is a paid infomercial, but it's something that I think is important to know, and blah, and then they would talk about it. And they found out that that was the most efficient, cost-wise and a result-wise way of getting a message out there.
How did they track the results, Bob?
Through the, Google Analytics for every single blogger.
Well, the
Because
Ford
they showed spikes.
Ford did it with cars. They gave people cars. They said as long as you blog about that or put a video about it, we're cool.
Yep. I mean, Leo Laporte does it.
Okay, they didn't. Why was not I on that list?
Well,
The Ford Motor Company. They
lend
did
you.
it for the last car they
They'll
launched.
lend cars. I mean, what is it? Leo
as long as you
Laporte
do
got it
this,
for a
yeah.
summer. I think the guys at Revision TV, they got it for a summer, and they just did a little ad.
Tweet about it.
Yep, exactly.
I know that, was it Chrysler that gave Richard Lote one for 5 Hole for Food when he made that cross-country trip raising food for the food
Yeah,
banks?
if you ask, you can get. I mean, that's the whole thing with the internet. If you can show that you have a big enough following. Okay, now Leo, 250,000 people. It's a big chunk of following every week. So,
Well, they come
it's a
to
vibe.
Leo and ask him to play
Okay,
with their toys.
I have a minor
Yeah.
digression, but I have to say this.
Yes.
I got a Jabra Bluetooth, and I lost the little middle piece, so I couldn't charge my earpiece through my computer
Oh,
anymore.
yeah.
I emailed Jabra with a picture of the piece that said, I've lost this. Can I buy a new one? They said, no problem. Just give us your address. We'll mail it to you for free.
See, that's called customer service.
So I tweeted nice things about them.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the whole thing these days. Is you got to be all over that customer service as long as it's legitimate.
That's the connected consumer or the connected client.
The power of the connected
Yeah,
client.
so if
According
you
to the End of Business as Usual by Brian Solis.
Solis.
Ta-da,
That's
ta-da.
because we are 1, 2, 3.
the three book bags.
Oh man, you guys work on that big time.
practice that
Work
one.
there, man,
Say
in
that
front of a
again.
mirror.
Say that again. 1,
We're
2,
2, 3.
The book bags.
The book bags. Okay,
The book bags.
the book
We're
bags.
the book bags Monday nights at Kaylee's Pub from 5 to 7:30 or 5 to 6:30.
Lots of drinks, lots of talking.
7th and Burrard
7th and Burrard
in the
back
private room.
Yeah,
Oh,
There-
it
Come
sounds-
join the book bags in a private room and talk
I'll
about
bring
books.
my own bag.
Sounds kinda like,
Private room. Wow.
I
Has your own
Jody
book.
my bag.
So Bob's not allowed there to do anything.
I could bring my own bag.
Is Bob a bag?
No,
I'll
but
bring
Bob
one.
could be a guest of the bags.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll be a guest bag.
So there you go. You could do.
Oh man, I have the.
I could be a baguette. Yeah, I know. I was
the
thinking.
best
Of,
thing?
All right,
yeah,
we're
I know
digressing way too
exactly
much.
what you're
You
thinking.
know exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Being a
starts with
guy.
D, right?
A double.
You could be
No,
the
I was
D.
thinking S, but
Is do you talk about business books?
Yeah,
You
and we
indeed.
talk about business books. Yeah, so it's Business Books on Burrard. And we did the Brian Solis, The End of Business as Usual, which is an awesome book basically telling companies, your consumers are on social media. Technology is what they're using to find you. If you're not using social media and the new technology, you are lost in the dust.
oh my god.
Yep.
That sounds like a
It
guy
is a
that
fabulous
listens to who's the Grape Crusher guy?
Vaynerchuk.
Gary Vaynerchuk. He's all over that. It's his famous statement for this month is every company is racing to the bottom or racing to the top, and which type of company you in. Because if you're in a company racing to the bottom,
You're
and that's
done.
basically like, how could you produce a product cheaper to compete? How can you do stuff faster to compete? Eventually, you're going to die.
You mean the
Because it's-
Groupon model?
Did you hear which? Okay, no, I'm going to forget which company it was, but there's a company they're laying off like 1,600 employees because they've realized out of their marketing department. Because why are they spending? Or Procter and Gamble, why are they spending millions of dollars? On a traditional advertising, and they're like, okay, where the hell's Mr. Clean's Twitter account? Why isn't it there? The Old Spice guy showing them the way. They just need to use that more.
Yeah, that was. I think I reposted something on it the other day.
Yeah, I
probably you saw it
It's
from.
really, really good.
Oh, it's all part of the shake-up of the advertising industry, or the lack thereof.
Well, not only that. I mean, I think that the thing that Gary was really, big on, and Bob shared a link with me about it, was basically saying that, it's great to talk about social media, it's great to talk about traditional media, but realistically, the internet is evolving, and social media is just the latest catch term. I mean, realistically, you're just seeing a change in the way people market and connect with people. I mean, for example, Groupon, I work with a dealership, and they've been playing around with Groupon for oil changes, figuring they could capture
how much money did they lose?
Well, I mean, oil changes is not a real moneymaker anyway, but what they did was they were able to, gather some people from it. But the results, I have to say, were very disappointing.
Yeah.
And realistically, capturing those people long term is doubtful at best.
The only way Groupon works is if you have a huge markup. You got to have 500, 600, 700% markup to make anything on Groupon.
No, because they're still taking 50% of whatever's left.
Yeah.
And even if you have a big markup, you're still done. You cannot make money.
You can't make money by discounting your service.
I think the only possible advantage to Groupon is if you have an uncapturable resource. It's gone at midnight tonight. It's the same thing as the travel industry with the hotel rates. Well, but beyond that, you have what's the point? You're
even if you have, let's say, a 500% margin or whatever that is, if you're giving half of that away or more to get people in, and then of the remaining margin, you're giving them half. Well, how are you making money?
Explain it to acquisition, and more importantly, what is it costing you in lost customer retention? Because for the hair salons and all of those other kinds of commoditized industries, it's been huge.
Not only that, if you invested a small portion of that money that you're losing,
you think,
to actually capture the customers you already have, as opposed to getting new customers at a loss, that doesn't make any sense.
Of course, it doesn't. That's my point.
And crazy. And now you've just branded yourself as the half price option.
Yeah, commodity.
Yeah, but
so why would I pay? I'm not paying full price next time. I'm going to go find somebody else who's cheap.
Yeah, the other thing is that the type of customer you're attracting is a coupon chaser.
Yeah.
So
and they're here today and gone tomorrow. They're not coming.
They're waiting for the next deal.
Well, absolutely.
Which will be down the street with your competitor.
And the best analogy I've heard is the florist. When someone sends you flowers, do you remember the person that sent you the flowers, or do you remember the actual florist? You remember the person that sent you the flowers. So in the case of Groupon giving you the deal, they're giving you the flowers. The business is just
the intermediary.
It could be any business. It doesn't matter. You go there, you get your deal, and you go and you leave. Now, if they can provide outstanding service far beyond your expectations, I mean, if the fundamentals are still there, like the fundamentals of providing awesome service and valuing your customer, it might work. But if you get slammed, like on Groupon, sometimes you get thousands and thousands of people coming in. And if you can't handle those customers and you give them a bad experience, it's an all-around lose. Big time.
I think just to jump in, we did a webinar actually this morning for a bunch of clients who, and it was all about Groupon, team buy, deals, sites, etc. I think you have to look beyond the making money if you're going to get involved with those sites. I think it has to be about the promotional value that you're hoping to gain from it. And I think if you break down the math, sometimes you have to say, I would be better just to buy this advertising than to go through this promotional channel giving my product away. And I think companies don't ask themselves that question often enough to be able to figure out whether it's cheaper to buy it or cheaper to go through the Groupon promo site.
Or how about investing some of that money, instead of trying to buy advertising, in embellishing what you already do for your high-value clients so they bring you referrals.
Well, how about
turn them into ambassadors for you.
How about just talking to your customers?
Yeah,
like, I mean,
absolutely.
To me, like that's insane. Like, I mean, I look at big businesses, small businesses. I look at retailers. I look at businesses in general. The vast majority of them don't market to their existing customers.
No,
that's right.
So why are you spending a bunch of money advertising to new customers when you don't even capture the ones you have?
To a bunch of cheap strangers.
It just doesn't make sense.
No, I completely.
Well, I think that's exactly to your point. Is in the case of Groupon, when you talk about the profitability, if you're trying to get new customers, sometimes you might be better off just to go in the parking lot at the Safeway near your business and hand out 2-for-1s and get 50 cents on the dollar as opposed to 25 cents on the dollar. And then the same thing, don't do for that customer what you wouldn't do for your existing customer.
And
so
it triggers what I call the law of immediate consequences. You can tick people off on social media, and you can tick people off with things like Groupon. Your long-term client who comes in and buys your premium service can't get in because all of these Groupon people are there, and they're going to find someone else who will give them exceptional service too.
Well, you also got to look at the quality of that customer. If someone's just interested in dollars and cents and that's it, are they really a good lifetime customer? Even if you retain a portion of them, I just don't believe it.
And
just don't believe it.
The other point that I would make is when you should be looking at if you're an appointment-based business or a walk-up business, because I think it's two different types of businesses and what you offer. Yeah,
like I was talking to a restaurant owner, and I said, he was talking about Groupon. I said, your margin's 25%. How does it make sense to discount your service 50% and then pay of the remaining loss 20 or 50% of that to Groupon?
Yeah, basically you're getting 25% of the value.
What are you doing?
I just argue though that sometimes it does make sense. Sometimes it does.
Well, listen, I think the majority. Am I on?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I think the majority of times it's okay to poo-poo on it, and you're right. As creditable people as we are, that we deal personally with our clients, that's not what this thing is all about. It's meant for the retailer who does the 1,000 cash sales at the register every day that doesn't have to establish a personal relationship. That works very well. Now, Groupon is IPOing. It did an IPO or whatever it did. Its revenues are enormous. This works. Period.
It works, but the only winner is Groupon.
Your retailers are starting to get intelligent about how to use it. Yeah. In the next few years, this will evolve. Absolutely.
That's right. And again, not for everybody, but for some, it might work.
Everybody wants to get on because it's a hot thing. So every retailer thinks they should be on, but the retailers truth is they're learning it.
The retailers see the numbers. They see thousands of people going to businesses, and they want a piece of it, right? But then when they actually do it, they realize that, wait a minute, I didn't get the value that I thought I was going to get. Unless you actually are very strategic about it, I think you can be successful with it. But
I think like any marketing, no matter what it is that you're doing, you've got to look at what's your game plan moving forward after that. The measurement of it, obviously, if it's a loser in the front end, to me, it's a loser long term. But if you don't retain that customer long term, and you don't maximize that, you got nothing. Why bother? And my problem with it is that the retailers are talking themselves out of the revenue. Why are you doing that? Why not just market intelligently?
It's specific, though. It's specific. There are many retailers, and probably the vast majority of retailers, that don't recognize their customers day in and day out. They just get too many of them. That's not the important thing.
Well, I mean, Whole Foods did a Groupon.
Sorry?
Whole Foods did a Groupon, right? So, I mean, that's probably a good example of what you're talking about. They get a bunch of new people that maybe don't normally use Groupon or Whole Foods, and they get them in. But is there really
expose them to the brand?
They get their product at half price, or $20 for $40, but they might go there and spend $120. So I mean,
they're also geared up to handle larger amounts of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they also have the highest profitability.
Yeah.
Any retailer in food in North America.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the negative side of Groupon, but I think in reality we're talking about a very small percentage of the clients of Groupon that don't work as well as it does for others.
No, what Ian said earlier.
Interesting. I'd love to see those metrics because I'm starting a project just like it.
Ian stole the words right out of my mouth earlier when he said about customer service. I've been to a restaurant that does Groupon, and I've been to it after the Groupon promotion was over. And although it's a husband and wife team that own the restaurant, and the customer service is terrible. And in retrospect, as I was leaving the restaurant, I was thinking, had they not done Groupon, but just made an effort to reach out to the customer and come by and say, were you happy with the food? What did you think about it? Was everything okay? And be a bit more customer focused, I think they would not even need the Groupon, as opposed to do Groupon and actually lose money. And one of the things that did come back to me from the business owners is that once they did the Groupon, not only did they get all the freeloaders or the cheapies, but it actually hurt business in the long term because they had regulars coming in there for lunch who when they came in, realized that the place was full and went somewhere else and never came back.
Well, what about the other 350 marketing opportunities that retailer tried as well, though? We're only talking about Groupon, but retailers are jumping in on many things. It's not just the Groupon. It's magazines, it's newspapers, it's flyers. They spend a lot of money on marketing.
Well, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example from automotive, and I've been in automotive for over 10 years. Everybody in automotive believes that price sells everything. I talk to retailers, if it was just cheaper, people would buy more. Absolute bullshit.
Yep.
Absolute horseshit. If you believe it, go with Groupon. Because it's absolute horseshit. Apple doesn't discount things. Why? They don't have to. Because their service is excellent. I mean, their product you can disagree with, but they are the most successful retail around, and they make money.
We are kind of,
and it's service. It's not the product.
So
it's service.
You feel quite strongly about that.
The conversation about Groupon.
People pay for service.
It's
period.
value.
Well, perceived
the conversation
value.
I heard.
It's perceived.
What about the
value,
treasure
guys.
chest? Can we go back 10 years ago and talk about treasure chest books and the coupons they used to have in it?
Yeah,
Aren't we just an instant gratification company now that just doesn't deal in people? We deal in instant metrics. If we just took it a little bit more closer to the chest and actually appreciated the people that we do business with, I think we'd all be a lot better off.
Yeah. Wow, that heartfelt message. I think we'll round off the show with that. That was an awesome ending from a very, very, very... it took us a heck of a long time to get warmed up tonight, folks. Unbelievable. But when we did, it was an awesome, awesome run. Some great volleying back and forth, back and forth. So looking for the next show, which is... let me just look at my notes. What the heck is on... Oh, yeah, 74. So show 74, where we continue with ongoing debate now that we got the crowd warmed up. Thanks for coming. I think we're not going to even bother talking about our phone number because nobody calls it.
1-877-636-1474.
So for God's sake, do not call that number.
Also, if
I'll
you're
be really
listening,
pissed off.
If you're listening on iTunes, give us a review.
Oh, yeah, and Twitter. What's our Twitter? It's hashtag Bunker Project.
Pound Bunker Project.
Yeah, okay. Look for that. Look for that.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
And a big shout out to Wix, our sponsor. Wonderful, amazing. Go check it out. Wix.com. Blah, blah, blah. You know all about it.
We're designing a new page right now.
Using Wix. Actually, we're not. We're getting a Wix Pro, which is another amazing thing about the Wix amazing community.
Are you saying that Eric is doing your site?
No. We've got a pro, a Barcelona pro. We've gone European here, folks. Real Europe. I guess that's the end of the show.